So, welcome. My name is WriterMaven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, Ben, JD, Roxanne, Porcalito, and now including El Grande Americano and Los Americanos. Yesterday was the AAA show Alanza's, if I'm pronouncing that right. We had a lot of major shit go down in that show. Mostly because it was Dominik's celebration, and also because it named a number one contender for Dom's Mega Championship. Also, we got some really interesting bits with Dom and El Grande and what Dom said on commentary during the number one contendership match. Liv didn't show up, but I wasn't expecting her to show up, so I'm not really expecting her to show up on Monday either, so it is what it is. But yesterday was a really important show. I got to see it. I was able to see it on VPN using HBO Max subscription and setting my VPN to Mexico. So if you want to watch AAA show, their weekly show, you can do that. You might have to figure a little bit of things out for the VPN, but it worked. I watched it live. It was cool. I love the show. For some reason, AAA shows be hitting right because top to bottom, I enjoyed all the show. Even with just waiting on Dom, I was enjoying Bobby Apache because I love her. We got to see a Wyatt Six video pop up after the Pagano and Psycho Clown match. So there was a lot of interesting stuff that happened on the show. So let's go on and get into it, shall we? Like I said, the show was fucking amazing. Even with my lack of Spanish comprehension, I enjoyed the fuck out of the show, and I got the gist of what was going on. I was talking about earlier, Fabi Apache is amazing. She is now another number one contender to the Reina de Reinas championship held by Flammer. And the other number one contender is Natty. So we're going to probably get another triple threat match between Natty, Fabi Apache, and Flammer. Flammer is probably going to drop it. I'm not sure if they're going to drop it to Natty or Fabi Apache, but I've been enjoying a hell of a lot of Natty character, and I'm enjoying Fabi Apache a lot. The Wyatt Six, like I said, also popped up after Pagano and Psycho Clown's match. They had called out the Wyatt Six, and they popped up with a message. I didn't go back to watch exactly what the message was, but it's your standard Wyatt Six player. And I think they did challenge them for a match at the upcoming Heroes show on October 25th. So let's go into a little bit more about Dom. Dom had his championship celebration. He kicked off the show. What Dom said, paraphrasing here because I did get a translation of what Dom said. They weren't doing an English commentary on this. This is just a translation of what I found. It was that he's paraphrasing, saying that he's making history and that this is something that his deadbeat dad couldn't do. Brings up the greats like Conan, Mil Mascaras, and others. He called Penta an asshole, which is hilarious. That he's going to be the one to save Lucha Libre. That this is a wake up call, and that he is the better Mysterio and King of the Luchadors. So it's just a pretty much a standard Dominik heel promo. Just him talking shit, being a rudo, is what they call it down there. He didn't get his mariachi band, so I'm still sad about that. Got love from the crowd, but he was able to get some boos too. So yeah, he played his part as the Rudo, the heel. Is very, very confident on the mic. I like his swagger on the mic. Hoping to see this more. The WWE rate on Raw and like on PLEs where he does a promo, but what we're seeing now in AAA, he is really confident on the mic and promo wise. He can cut a promo. Yeah, just a standard celebration. I thought they might have unveiled a new championship belt here, but they didn't. Yeah, it's your typical Dominik heel. And we go into the triple threat match to become the number one contender to the AAA Mega Championship, which was going between Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americano versus El Hijo de Vikingo. Dom was on commentary for this. Prior to the match, El Grande Americano paid respect to Dom, and Dom saluted him back, which again is showing their relationship. This is an amazing match. Not sure if you can catch the full match or if they're gonna put the full match somewhere. But if you can catch it, watch it because Dragon Lee is fucking insane. This dude, helped Vikingo by doing a tope suicido, like over the boat, took out Vikingo, who was perched up on the announce table because he was trying to take out Grande Americano, and he just launched himself over the rope and took Vikingo out and pretty much got Vikingo out of the match. Um, speaking of, lost sight of his objective because he started after El Grande Americano. Um, was just ultra focused on El Grande towards the end of the match, and then he was kind of at Dominik, who was at the commentary table. I think I was going to do some move on El Grande on the ninth table, but like I said, Dragon Lee took him out. And El Grande was able to move out of the way out of that dive. So El Grande moved, which left Vikingo vulnerable to Dragon Lee taking him out. Um, picks up the win by pinning El Grande Americano. Then after this, and Dom faced off in the middle of the ring. Dom was holding up both of his belts, and the show ended. Now, if you were watching it, we saw the feed cut off when Vikingo was confronting Dom. So what we see here is like fan footage. So after the show and after the feed cuts off, got into the ring to confront Dom. Grande comes back to or recovers and comes back to attack Vikingo. Dom attacks Vikingo as well, and El Grande gets Vikingo into position for Dom to hit the 619 on Vikingo, and Dom does. El Grande pretty much set up Vikingo for the 619, and Dom carried it out. Afterwards, you see El Grande raising Dom's hand, and then he tries to. It was so funny because he tries to put Dom's back on because Dom had took off his vest to hit the 619. So you see El Grande to put Dom's vest back on him, but raising his hand, they're hugging, and that's pretty much the end of the show. Um, that was that. Am loving that Dragon Lee is getting all these opportunities. I never did like how I never did like whenever Ray was selecting somebody, he was never being chosen for these matches. So I'm really, really happy that Dragon Lee is getting this opportunity. It's a great first match for Dom. They have a fight forever feel, and they're just really, really familiar with each other. Like they produce some really great matches, Dom and Dragon Lee. So I have no problem with this being a match. You will see them face off for the Megas Championship October the 25th at Heroes and Mortalis. Um, to note, the El Grande Americano alliance with Dom looks very, very strong. They were being very respectful to each other. It wasn't being this typical thing where he was just being high and mighty with El Grande Americano. They're more acting like friends. So this is more of a friendship between El Grande Americano and Dom, and less of a alliance or an alliance of convenience, if you get my drift. So this is more like a really good friendship that has developed between the two. Um, Dom was on commentary. He made some really interesting points. First of all, he said that the Judgment Day has no rules. This is in Spanish, so this is a paraphrase of the translation again. But he said that has no rules, and that El Grande Americano is earning his way into the Judgment Day. So those are some pretty big bombshells that got dropped by Dom on commentary. So this leads me to believe a couple of things. It looks like Dom is positioning El Grande Americano, his new friend, the Judgment Day. So it's not like El Grande Americano and most Americanos are just going to be like a satellite um that has an alliance with Dom. It looks like Dom is going to incorporate them into Judgment Day in some kind of way. Still do think that Dom needs a heavy, like he's somebody like Bronson Reed or something like that, but um he's it looks like he's positioning El Grande Americano into the Judgment Day. Also, he's also saying Judgment Day has no rules, which is true. I mean, I always wanted to enforce something with Dom, but Judgment Day has pretty much done whatever the fuck they want when it comes to other people. So he's right about that. So what I'm taking from this, what Dom dropped on commentary, is that he is looking for El Grande and possibly even Los Americanos to take not Dom, to take Finn and JD's spot. Pretty much, that's what I'm getting from it. Um, and like I said, it looks like El Grande Americano and Dom has this really, really good friendship here. Also, but also what I'm gleaning for this is that Dom is being established as the leader, not just Judgment Day has no leader, but the leader. He's king of the luchadors. He calls himself the bastard of bastards, pretty much in his commentary in his promo earlier. So he's establishing himself as the leader. And on that note, I don't think Liv returns until he is firmly established as leader, because I don't think that they can run this while Liv is there. So I'm thinking they're getting everything set up. So Dom he's the de facto leader. You can still run Bunny and Clyde, but he is the leader. And then whenever that's set up, Liv returns. Also, what I'm also getting from this is that Penta did not come out to challenge Dom for the Megas Championship. So it sounds like Penta is going to be going after Dom's Intercontinental Championship, which might give some interesting implications for this Intercontinental Championship match that's coming up tomorrow night. Also, it looks like Vikingo is not done with Dom, and he's for sure not done with El Grande Americano. So he's still going to be zipping around for the reason in the immediate future. And that was Triple A's show, Alanis. Like I said, I love the show. It's a really fresher feel. Wrestling is wrestling, but it feels like a really more cohesive show. I know they don't show all of that show because we do have some other matches that happen before the show, but that could be something that whenever they get this new TV deal, maybe we could see like the full show for Triple A. But now let us go into Monday Night Raw and what's going to be happening on Raw. Grab Daddy did not give us any new information during his preview today, so what I'm saying here is what we already know. So we do know that the Intercontinental Championship match is going to be between Dom and Rusev. I expect all sorts of shenanigans in this match. Meaning, I expect everybody to come out. I expect El Grande, which is Dom's new best bud. I expect Los Americanos. Expect Uncle Alan AJ Styles. I expect Dragon Lee. I'm almost expecting Penta to show up because he is still after Dom because wants Dom for himself. I would not be surprised if we got Roxanne and Raquel out there too. I'm expecting all the shenanigans in this match. If they do run all this interference, I think they do it so Dom can win, where it protects Rusev with the loss. And they could also spin this up where you could have Rusev and Penta fighting again, or you can have it where Rusev goes after Finn because Rusev hasn't forgotten what Finn did to him last week. So there's a lot of different ways here. Right now, for my predictions for Dom winning, I say that's around 75%. I can't really say 80, but I really think Dom has a really good shot in retaining because, like I said, I think I really think that Penta's going to be after him. And if they want to set up Dom for Cena, he kind of has to have that belt. And if they're going to go with Finn versus Dom, that needs the belt too. So I don't think he's going to lose it just yet. He might make it all the way to WrestleMania again, or he might make it to Royal Rumble, but I don't think he drops it here. And also don't think that this match is going to be the main event match. You know why I think this is not going to be the main event match? Because we got a tornado tag team match between the Vision of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed versus the Usos. And I think that's going to be the main event. It seems backwards, but they've been putting the Vision as the main event match for all these weeks, so why change now? You would think that Dom and AJ would have got the main event slot in Paris, but they didn't. So I don't think we're gonna get any kind of title change here. I think there's gonna be a couple of things that happen here. Either we have all the shenanigans and Dom squeaks by the skin of his teeth, and Rusev is pissed, and he takes out Finn there or something like that. We might get it where Penta shows up and it sparks that feud again between Penta and Rusev. We might even have another Dom Alliance member, whoever it is, Tony D'Angelo, Ilya Dragunov. It could be any of them show up to handle Rusev. So we could have any of those show up as well. Regarding Finn and JD, maybe they say that they're pissed off and they want to leave Dom alone, which is cool because Dom has been pretty much working without them anyway. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Finn. Maybe he's pissed, but I do think this match is just gonna have a ton of shenanigans in it. And then we also have Raquel versus Bailey. This continues the Bailey and Lyra storyline, and like I said, I really don't like how Roxanne and Raquel are being used to set up other people's stories. This happened with Liv too, and I didn't like it then. I don't like it when other wrestlers are being used to set up other people's stories. They should be able to set up that storyline on their own, pretty much, and you shouldn't be using somebody else's popularity, Liv's case, or somebody else just to get some kind of wins, just to set up that particular feud. Because Roxanne and Raquel need the wins. They shouldn't be losing, and especially since Liv is out, where they can't even continue whatever they have going on with Liv. So they need wins. They need to establish themselves. I don't like them being used like that. I'm really hoping Raquel wins, but it's not looking good. So I would not be surprised if Raquel lost this match. But it might be a chance. If we ever get like that alliance with El Grande in there, and maybe Los Americanos come out and help her out. Who knows? But I got that for Roxanne last week, but maybe somebody else comes out and helps or something distracts or whatever. But I want Raquel to win, but it's not looking good. And there is a possible match between AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Los Americanos. It could be like El Grande and somebody, or it could be El Grande's Tres and Cuatro. It's possible they could have the match, or you could just see everybody pop up in Dom's match. And then, like I said, the Tornado Tag Team match between Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and the Usos. This could be for a number one contendership, especially if they want to get the titles off of Finn and JD. So they can go a couple of ways with this. Either Dom gets it where he has set up a tag team title match between the Los Americanos, between Finn and JD, or they do it where this tornado tag is for a number one contendership match, and the winner of that ends up facing Finn and JD. So there's a different couple of possibilities here as well. We will have to see what they announce. I'm kind of hoping Dom puts a bug against Grab Daddy's ear, how he had the JD match, but Rusev at the ready. I'm hoping Dom does that too tomorrow too. Have him be setting up stuff. They did him all these years ago. They would just set up matches for Dom where he had to do it. Start doing it for Finn and JD. And then other things that should be going on Raw is that Finn and Dom's tensions need to keep building. I need more tension. Dom should not be apologizing. I want Dom to be cocky, not too cocky, but Dom is just confident in his shit. I want Dom to be like, what of it? If Finn wants to complain about something, just be like, hey, what of it? And deal with that. I want Dom to be talking with Raquel and Roxanne more. I know people bitch about this, but I want that split. Because to me it's still going to be like Raquel and Roxanne with Dom, where Finn and JD split off. I just see that face turn coming sooner rather than later for Finn. Dom should have more swagger too. I need to see the swagger that he had on yesterday's show on Raw tomorrow. I also need more Dom and El Grande Americano interactions because they have a really good vibe. I like their vibe. You can tell that they're really friendly with each other. They're really comfortable with each other. And like I said, it looks feels like more of a friendship between the two than a strictly an alliance. So I want to see more interactions. I still want El Grande popping up in the clubhouse just to piss off Finn. Maybe Finn and JD are all pissed off, but then you have Raquel and Roxanne talking with them. I want to see something like that. One thing to keep an eye on is Roxanne and Raquel's reactions to Dom. So with what happened last week, we'll get a pretty good clue on how things could be going with their reactions. They do it right. If they have it where Raquel and Roxanne don't like it, then we can pretty much guess where it's gonna be going from there. But if they have it where Roxanne is still sticking up for Dom despite what happened last week, then that would be very, very interesting. So if we have maybe Finn and JD complaining about Dom and then Roxanne is still sticking up for Dom, then that shows a really hard split between Finn and JD and Roxanne and Raquel because Roxanne is still sticking up for Dom despite of what he did last week on Monday Night Raw. So we'll see how things go just by the reactions to of what Roxanne and Raquel could possibly do. And Jacob is right. Raw does start at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. So please turn in to Raw an hour early this week. I think they go back to their normal time next week for that. But that's all my predictions. Like I said, we've got some really interesting things that happen. I really do think that Dom is positioning El Grande to replace Finn and JD. I also think they're establishing Dom to be the leader so they can kick off this Dom and Finn feud. We need to see the reactions to Roxanne and Raquel, what they do, what their reactions is to Dom and what he did last week. For the match, I expect all the shenanigans in the Intercontinental Championship match, and hopefully Raquel will get a win. And that's my little preview.